Hey top percenters, Razor Joey here, raising the question, is this a bad format? For a while now, a handful of players have thought that the black-white format was pretty, shall we say, lackluster. Set after set, we just received new dominant decks. Dark Explorers saw Darkrai as its major deck. Boundaries Crossed created the Keldeo Blastoise format, where it wasn't unusual to see at least 3 Keldeo Blastoise decks in the top 4 of any given tournament. Dragons Assaulted gave us Ray Eels, which to be honest was probably the only new deck to diversify the format instead of changing the number 1 deck. But it seems the Pokemon Company wasn't happy with the idea of the format diversifying, so they created the Plasma archetype. And 2 sets in, we have Plasmabox, the new Keldeo Blastoise. But what does this really say? Sure, we've had dominant decks. How's that any different from previous formats? Well, it's like this. Most formats tend to develop one dominant deck towards the end of the format and approaching Worlds. And to be honest, I didn't mind that. A whole format's worth of practice and refining went into creating that one best deck in format. But this format has been no practice or refining. Each set created a new deck on its own, only relying on previous sets for trainers and supporters. This has led to the majority of tournament seasons being bland, with one deck being the one to play, and leaving very limited space for creativity. That being said, there is one major point that I feel truly emphasizes the problem with this format. At first glance it seems like it should only be a minor problem, seeing as it would only affect the minority of competitive players, and I feel that's why most people don't see the problem. But I truly feel that it shows how bland the format really is. But to get to the point, Tier 2 isn't playable. Last format, me and Max made a real showing for ourselves running Tier 2 decks. I ran Vanillux from Noble Victories up until rotation. I stuck with it and I placed well the majority of the time. And this was a deck that certain pro players flat out claimed was bad. Because, you know, consistently holding a 2-form prize exchange is bad in any format, right? But in this format, you step forward with a Tier 2 deck and you don't stand a chance, no matter how good you are. This format is a Tier 1 only party, with the big 3 being the only real decks that stand a chance in major tournaments. That being said, I really hope somebody proves me wrong by bringing a road to the top tables at Worlds. Now, I want to try and change the tone slightly, because believe it or not, I don't think the format is that bad. We've still yet to see Yu-Gi-Oh! Level broken cards in Pokemon. Nothing in this game is cost free. In fact, the worst we have is low cost. That in itself leads to the biggest complaint about this format. Because of how little it takes to set up for a comeback, people are seeing this as a very luck driven format, because if someone can top the right cards, they win. And that's as much luck as it is minimal requirement. A lot of the times people will come to a point where it's one card means a comeback or game. Now, no matter what format we're in, there will always be one deck that is so low cost that one card to change the tide will happen time and time again. That's not the sign of a bad format, it just shows that the format has a minimal cost deck. Legends Awakened gave us Kingdra, who had a 1 energy attack and a free attack, both of which were capable of decent damage. The SP format gave us Luxchomp, and with Cyrus's Conspiracy you could guarantee what you needed. Heart Gold Soul Silver had Donphan Prime, a cheap attacker with built-in protection. Every format has that quick, minimal investment deck, and most of the time the same thing is said about it. There is too much luck in the format. There really isn't. If it's a constant problem, then it's not luck, it's design, and we can't avoid the design due to the power creep. But I'll cover the power creep another time. To be fair though, in my honest opinion, this isn't a bad format, but it isn't a good format either. Its bland and lower tier decks aren't an option, but the format isn't broken, and it's never truly been a one deck game, and it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, overall it's an average format, and future installments or rotation could easily make it better or worse. But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think the format's good or bad? Let me know down below. And while you're at it, why not hit the subscribe button so you can be the first to see future episodes. Until next time, I'm Razor Joey, you guys are top percent, peace out.